Hi there, this is Big Boss Calvin 83. Today I want to discuss, and I want to touch on the subject of why men have no respect for women. You know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about a lot of things and what to talk about and a lot of topics I want to touch on in the future. But I just don't know what I wanted to talk about tonight. But today I want to touch on this topic. I know I have talked about this before in previous videos, but since I got a new perspective, I want to share it with you guys and girls. The reason why men don't respect women is because really is that women don't respect men. And let alone women don't respect themselves. If you look at today's society and look how people are treating each other, today the majority of people in this society and even in the world, but in this particular gynocentric society that we live in called America, in this society that we treat each other like shit. Both men and women don't have no respect for each other. Everything is about myself. Everything is about me. Fuck the other person. Fuck if I hurt them. Fuck if I destroy their lives. Fuck if I hurt their feelings. So fucking what? It's about me. It's better them than me. Attitude. And this is why people don't respect each other. That is the real reason. Nobody respects anybody because the way people are being raised nowadays and what people are being taught, and especially by society, the culture, the media, the school system, books and the magazines, and being raised with fucked up parents. People don't know how to treat each other. Everything is about me, all about me. Fuck everybody else. I don't care if I hurt another human being. It's about what I want. It's about being greedy, and greed has no end. Now, the reason why men don't respect women is because women don't respect themselves. Women have no respect for men. Women have been, thanks to this society, and thanks to the powers that be who run this society and run the world, but particularly targeting America, because they want this country to fall. They want us to be divided. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the top elites here, the elites. The people who have all the wealth, all the power, and all the privilege to do what the fuck they want to do. Women have been placed on the pedestal while men have been suppressed down. Men are oppressed under this gynocentric system. Thanks to feminism, it has empowered women to be fucking insensitive, misandric bitches, because feminism promotes misandry. And that means man hatred. Basically, misandry means, for you people who don't know, if you look up the definition of misandry, it means have a hatred for men. That's what misandry means. And since there's misandry, and thanks to the male bashing, thanks to the media, thanks to the school system, what did they teach you at school? Boys don't hit a girl. Instead of what should have been taught, that nobody hits nobody. When you're a man, when you're a boy, you are discriminated against. When the minute you come out the woman's womb, you are discriminated against just for being a boy. And when you become a man, you face more discrimination and more social injustice. Y'all understand what I'm saying? This is where, since women don't respect us, you can't respect somebody who doesn't respect you. And I'll touch on that later. And then they talk, and then they promote this propaganda that girls are smarter than boys. Girls mature faster than boys. All these lies and propaganda that is so incorrect and not true at all. And then you got the male bashing, and then you got men who are portrayed to be idiots, immature, clumsy, dysfunctional, and they need a woman they need a woman. So basically, what they promote men to be stupid, ignorant, dumb, immature, and sissified, and they don't have, and a woman has to come into this man's life and have and this man needs stability and balance. So men are portrayed as clumsy, klutz, dumb, stupid, and a woman's portrayed smart, beautiful, perfect, and can do no wrong. And then you got men being portrayed as evil beings. Men are evil. Men are rapists. Men are pedophiles. You name it. Men are idiots. And this is what the media portrays. And this is why women don't respect men. Because of that shit. They come up with these false statistics of rape, which is not true. They don't talk about men being raped, but they're always talking about women. Excuse me. And you talk about the legal system and the court system favoring girls and women over men. No matter what a woman does, she gets away with it. She gets a slap on the wrist. At that, or she gets away scot-free. Men, we have to deal with the consequences. We got to be punished to the full extent of the law. This injustice creates division and a lack of respect for each other. What else? Okay. Since men are portrayed in a negative light, and we got all this, men have all this, are portrayed to have all these negative stereotypes, and then men are pigs, and men are slobs, and the women are clean, and they got their shit together. They're on point. They're smart. They are morally superior, and they're angels, and men are the devil. We're evil. We're wicked. All these lies. All these lies and propaganda is the reason why women have no respect for men. And then on top of that, women are placed on the pedestal. They have all the choice and all the say so. They pick and choose what kind of man they want to be with. They pick and choose which man they want to sleep with and don't want to sleep with. And they pick and choose whether this man deserves somebody in their life or don't. Or they deny and they choose if the man gets denied a life or not. When it comes to reproduction, women decide which man they want to pick to reproduce with and procreate with. And if you're not that guy that has looks, stats, fame, and money, if you're not part of the status quo, and if you're not classified as a desire to society standards, guess what? You're fucking out of luck. This is where women have a disrespectful disposition towards men. And because of that, men are treated like shit by women every single fucking day. Men are stereotyped out from 1 to 5 seconds. Not saying they can't happen for women, but women have all the choice and all the say so. I see more fat women with men who are skinny and fit. I see more overweight women with men who are fit and slender. But you never see a fat man with a skinny woman. And if you do see a man who's a fat man or overweight man with a skinny, beautiful woman, guess what? Usually that dude has fucking money. He's fucking paid. He got paper. if that's not the case, he must have a way of words and know how to talk to women. He must, he must be the bad boy, or he must be a thug, or he just must be one of those lucky guys who knows how to talk to women, or they knows how to dress well, or knows how to communicate. You know, but usually it's either he has money or he's a bad boy with a lot of charisma and shit like that. And knows how to, and he has a way with words towards women. So, go figure. I need all my water I can get on this video. So those are one of the reasons why women have no respect for men. Because women are superficial, shallow, and materialistic. Let's talk about feminism. Like I said before, feminism, the purpose of feminism was to create a gender war between men and women. Get the man out the house, and the woman becomes dependent on the state. Get the man out the house, put the men in jail, and give women the houses, give women the jobs. And because of that, that's why and not only just jobs, but opportunities. And give them in nothing. Women have support groups, and they got a bunch of support. They got a lot of support groups and programs. Men don't. And what this does is, what it does for men for most men who are at a disadvantage, it creates resentment. It creates resentment, and women talk about words of chivalry and all that shit. How come men aren't chivalrous, men aren't romantic, and men aren't caring and sensitive? Well, last time I checked, when you women said, when a man was caring and sensitive, y'all seen him, and if he cried, you called him weak. If he was sensitive, you took his kindness for weakness. You took advantage of him. You told him that he was less of a man because he had feelings. The only time you want a man who's sensitive, if he caters to you, kisses your ass and puts you on the fucking pedestal, tells you what the fuck you want to hear. That's when you mean you want a sensitive guy, a man who will simp and kiss his ass and bend over backwards for you and let him walk all over you. He will allow you to walk all over him. That's what I mean. And back to men being most men being undesirable, because you got women chasing 20% of the men. 80% of these men are alone. They gotta fight hard to get a woman in their life. And most of the time, men don't have no options like that. They always say there's more women than men. But if you check a long time ago, I checked the statistics. Globally, there's more males than there are females. You know, thanks to Yahoo, Google is not only your friend, but Yahoo can be your best friend as well. So throughout the world, globally, there's slightly more men than there's women. But in America, there's more women than men. But women talk about a man shortage because they always say, well, there's a man shortage. And there's a reason why that there's more women than men, and that's because women get fucking abortions and they're taught to kill the boys, and men die from fighting in wars and die in the workplace. Men risk their lives for society and to take care and protect women and children, but men get no fucking respect out of that. You women always bite the hand that fucking feeds you. And then back to what I said about men being denied a life. Well, if you're denied a life as a man, and you're denied love and companionship and sex, if you've been forced to be alone for all those years and for decades, you're gonna have a negative attitude. you're going to have this negative aura around you. Well, this guy hates women. Well, you can't blame the guy for hating women and losing respect for them and having no respect for women, because women never show respect towards men. Most women disrespect men on a constant basis. And so all the chivalry things and all the nice things that men used to do for women, they took that for granted and took his kindness for weakness. Being a nice guy will get you played. Or worse, it will get you fucking killed. So being nice is not the way to be with women, because women created this problem in society. You know, women dress like sluts, dress like whores, being fucking prostitutes, being fucking gold diggers, and materialistic, and going by obsessing over looks and image of what kind of guy they want. And due to those things, this is why you got true force loneliness. And then just the way women carry themselves and fornicating, going from guy to guy, whoring around, slutting it out from men who they claim are no fucking good. And then worse, they get kids by them, and then they want the guy who was considered a nice guy, who's usually have it together. They want to holler at the nice guy to take care of her and another man's child, and if you don't do that as a man, then you're less of a man. And they say they're on this dumb shit that a real man takes care of another man's fucking kids. No, bitch. A real man doesn't take care of another man's responsibilities. That's not even his. A real woman wouldn't have kids out of fucking wedlock. Now, if you're a fucking widow, I'll give you a pass. Okay, this don't apply to you. But if you are divorced and you got kids, usually women get custody of the kids, and you know just child support coming from that, and alimony. Or if you're a woman who had kids out of wedlock, both of y'all are fucked up because of the fact that you obviously, the reason why your marriage failed, because you were fucking selfish. Women initiate about 60 to 70% of the divorces because she wasn't fucking happy. Because the man didn't please her, didn't give her everything she wanted. You can't satisfy women. Women are like spoiled children. There's nothing you can do. You cannot satisfy them. And because of the way women carry themselves and behave, this is why y'all don't get no fucking respect. Because most women don't respect themselves, but they expect respect because of the fact that they got a fucking vagina. That's not the case. You don't get respect because you're a fucking vagina. You get respect because of the deeds, based on your deeds, the deeds you do, based on you doing good deeds, based on you having character, morals, and integrity. That's where respect comes from. You gotta earn a man's respect by the way you carry yourself, by the way you behave. And a lot of you women don't do that shit. Y'all don't know how to be loving and respectful. Y'all have zero respect for yourselves. And you think saying, well, I can dress the way I want to dress. No, you fucking can't. You can dress the way you want to be dressed, but people are going to judge you a certain way. And I know in this world, in this perfect world, in this utopia that you want to believe that exists in America, in Western society, or should I say Western societies, because it's not just America, it's Canada, it's the UK, and then you got Australia. Who's having these same, and men out there are having problems with women out in those countries. People always make some form of judgments. Yes, judging people, you should never judge a person if you don't know them. But the way society tells us is to make these judgments because we've been indoctrinated to think a certain way. Thanks to these so-called beauty standards, and thanks to the whole looks and image issues of what a person should look like, what should they have, and what should they be measured by. And because of those things, this is why people make these judgments. But I do agree that you should never judge somebody if you don't know them. You judge somebody based on what you know. But there's just one exception, that you can judge somebody based on how they carry themselves and based on how they behave. And people judge you by that, subconsciously, based on how you carry yourself. And I mean, I mean, especially for men. Men are judged. You women judge us harshly. But for some reason, y'all like to dish it, but you can't fucking take it. You like to hold us men to a certain standard of what a man should be. But if we try to hold you to a standard of what you women should be, guess what? It's fucking sexist. I'm so sick and tired of these double standards. And the reason why men have a negative perception of you and have a negative aura is because you gave men that negative attitude. You gave men that negative perception based on the way you treat us. Not all of you women, but the majority of you women treat men like fucking shit. You treat us like fucking third-class citizens, or should I say fifth-class citizens in this nation. Y'all treat us like fifth-class citizens. Y'all think you're so fucking superior and fucking better than us. And it's sickening. And you have no proof of why you think you're fucking superior, but because the TV set and the school system and the fucking media told you that you're fucking superior to men. Just because you feel like you are. Because you got your ego's been self-inflated with propaganda of female supremacy. You think, oh, women are better than men, but there's no proof of why women are better than men, because you fell for the fluff that's been promoted out in the feminist media. That's why men have that's why men resent you, and this is why men have a negative attitude about you and got this negative perception of you. Yes, don't get me wrong, you should never bring, just because I as a man have had multiple negative bad experiences throughout middle school, high school, college, through the rest of my 20s. And I speak for most men. Men have been treated like shit ever since the time you hit adolescence, hit puberty. Women change, and they gotten so narcissistic and so obnoxious and so conceited and so mean and disrespectful towards boys and men. And think about it, if you've been abused and mistreated like that since you were like 10 years old and all the way down to your 20s and then when you hit your 30s, and there's a lot of guys who are older than me who has gotten that constant abuse from women. Getting older, you got that these negative experiences because you've been mistreated by society and women, because this society is so gynocentric. And the thing is, just where does all this misandry come from that you women have? A lot of you women have a lot of, I mean, y'all hate men. I don't know why you women hate men so damn much. And you talking about and you complain, and you have the audacity to complain of why we don't fucking respect you. Well, bitch, you don't fucking respect us. I mean, whatever bad experiences you had with a man, let it go, alright? Well, then you can say the same thing in turn. Well, you guys need to let it go too. Well, I'm trying to let it go, but you keep, every time I let it go, I get the same abuse. It's not easy to let go of pain. When a person is raped, you can never forget that. When the person's under oppression, even if they are free, you never forget the pain and suffering. It's like if you go to war and you see nothing but bodies being blown up, people getting raped and killed, children being killed, slaughtered, and people being terrorized and scared to death, and you see dead bodies, and you see bombs everywhere, places being set on fire, and all this, and people being terrorized to death. When you get back home from the military, you got these negative images. It's called post-traumatic stress. You have a post-traumatic stress disorder. So when men have these constant negative experiences, even if you try to forget about it, you cannot forget about it because it keeps happening. But it don't happen for you women like that. Like I said, women have all the choice and all the say-so and all the privileges and power to do whatever the fuck they want to do, but they don't want no fucking responsibility for their fucking actions. Y'all following what I'm saying? I don't mean for this video to go too long, but I gotta cover everything because I got no choice. So when you're a person who goes through bad experiences, not by any fault of your own, you try to look for the good person in everybody. You try to look for the good in everybody. You give people the benefit of the doubt, and you give them a fair chance of hey, this person might be a good person, and I can't put them in the category. I can't, whatever bad experience I had with the last person, I cannot bring my emotional baggage and my negative experiences to this person, to this different person. But some of you women, when you fuck with bad boys, you fuck with thugs, you fuck with Simpson, Mangianas, and White Knights, men who you say are no damn good, but you keep fucking these no good guys. And then when you get burnt, and then when you come across a nice guy, you come across a good man, a man who has the potential to be a good man, I should say. Y'all treat him like shit, and you make him suffer for what you picked, for the last guy you picked, who fucking fucked you over. I'm not saying men don't make the same mistake, but the difference with men, we don't pick women. Women pick us. If a man picks a woman he likes, he's going to be charged with street harassment, sexual harassment, and rape. If he wants to have sex with a woman that he likes, he's going to be charged with rape, because the woman has to consent to say yes. Even to get a phone number, a woman has to say yes. I mean a real phone number, not the fake ones y'all fucking give out. And you want to talk about, well, I'm just sparing his feelings. No, you're not. You're lying. I respect you if you're fucking honest and say, hey, I ain't interested. But you know what, you women, what you do is that you judge a man from 1 to 5 seconds. You stereotype him out from 1 to 5 seconds instead of trying to find out what's he about. And you cannot find out what he's about within 2 seconds. Sometimes it takes 5 to 10 minutes, even 20 minutes. You got to invest your time to meet people. And that's how you find out what they're about. You know what I'm saying? But if you stereotype a man out for 1 to 5 seconds, you're not sparing our feelings. You're hurting our feelings because of the fact that we don't get a fair shake. As a man, I mean, when it comes to women, we have to hope that a woman will choose us and consent to being with us. We don't have the power. We can't choose the woman that we like. But you women can choose the men that we like. But you women can choose the men that you like. I'm sorry about that. And because of those things, is because men have been treated like shit and abused and bullied and disrespected and humiliated and embarrassed when we try to talk to you, and you keep getting those same experiences, and then you keep getting no's, and you keep getting disrespected and talked about and mocked and labeled as a fucking undesirable. No, when you call us a creep, I know what you mean. That's code talk for he's an undesirable. Lame. That means you are born undesirable. And because of that, this is why men have these negative perceptions of you. You say you can't talk to a woman with that fucking attitude, but the thing is, you gave us that negative attitude. You gave us that. The reason why so many men walk with this negative aura, and the reason why so many men hate feminism, because we see what feminism has done. You know, it has promoted misandry, and it didn't promote equality. It promoted misandry and female privilege. Women want equality when it fucking benefits them, but when it comes to equal responsibility, y'all don't want that. If you want to say you're traditional. Like I said, a traditional woman wouldn't dress like a fucking slut and have so many fucking sex partners and fornicated with so many different men and done so many nasty sex acts with different men. A traditional woman doesn't roll like that. A traditional woman takes time to get to know which guy that she want to be her husband and the father of her fucking children. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? A traditional woman knows how to cook and clean the house and take care of the home and take care of the children. Most of you women cannot do that anymore. You know, you talk about men not being traditional and not being gentlemen. Well, you women are not being ladies. Everything is a give and take. True friendship is about give and take. Most of you women just take. Men give, women take. And back to misandry, well, speaking of misandry, the reason why a lot of you women hate men because you've been taught as a little girl to hate men. Just like a person's taught to be a racist. Racism is taught, parents teach their kids racism. They teach their kids to be racist, just like them. Women, your mothers, your aunts, and the women in your family teach you how to hate men. And society, and then the school system teaches you to hate men because feminists run those entities. That's why I call this society gynocentric, because it caters to feminists and man-haters. You got male feminists who hate themselves and got all this male guilt. I mean, why should I feel guilty for what men in the past did and didn't do? That has nothing to do with me. And you women, it ain't that deep. You will say men are evil, men are the oppressors, but you women have reaped the benefits of men oppressing other people. I'm not saying it's right, but come on here. You know what I mean? You supported it. If you didn't support it, men would not do what they do. Men do certain things because you women allow him to do these certain things. Now this is what I mean, and this is pretty relevant to why I'm making this video. Like I said, respect is give and take. If you want chivalry, women, you got to be chivalrous with men. If you want a gentleman, you got to be a fucking lady. Respect is a two-way street. I mean, respect is a two-way street. That's correct. You have to earn respect. You got to respect yourself, and you got to give respect in order to receive respect. And because and that's the reason why most men don't respect you, because you don't respect yourself, and you damn sure don't respect us. You want to do whatever the fuck you want to us and expect us not to respond. That doesn't make any logical sense. The reason why we don't respect you is because y'all treated us like shit for all these years. And then you got the nerve to say you shouldn't have a negative attitude or negative and give off this negative energy and this negative order. Y'all need a hot glass to shut the fuck up because y'all created this problem. That's why we got so many school shootings and most of y'all victims of women. That's why we got men who become serial rapists. Not saying it's right. That's why we got so many men becoming serial killers. And you got so many men who are fucking violent because they never were violent when they're... Once upon a time, these particular men were never fucking violent. But because of y'all made a false claim of domestic abuse, and because you destroyed his life, he's like, fuck it. Especially if you made a false rape accusation. That's the reason. And then false claims of harassment, abuse, you name it. Because most men have been through those negative experiences and having all these trust issues because we've been burnt so many times and disrespected so many times, rather we dated you or not. And I mean, my personal problem is that I'm running into these problems, and I have never dated y'all, never fucked y'all, but I encountered so much disrespect in my 31 years of living. I'm going to be 32 in June, and all I can reflect on all these negative experiences, like, I never had a relationship with y'all, but I gotten all this disrespect, I got all this hostility, mistreatment, and it's just because I'm a man. A so-called black man, but a man. Because I've been a nice guy, and my kindness has been taken for weakness, and I've been taken advantage by others, but especially you women. I've been the shoulder you cry on, and you complain about your problems, you're asking for advice, but I don't know why you're asking me for advice, because I don't know anything about relationship advice, because you denied me that opportunity to have a relationship with you because you're so damn superficial and artificial and shallow and materialistic. Y'all want all these superficial qualities that are not realistic. It's not realistic. It's a fallacy. It's a fantasy. So, I mean, I guess because I'm different, me personally, I guess because I'm different and I don't fit the social norms of what a man should be, and I got my own ideas, and I think for myself. I don't group think. I think for myself as an individual. And because I'm different, and my mind is different, and I question things, and I'm conscious, and I'm very intelligent, a lot of women don't like knowledge. And if you are politically incorrect, like I am, I speak the truth. I speak how I feel. I'm honest with you all the time. I got no reason to lie. And a lot of women can't handle a man like me because of the fact that whatever you get, if you ask me, does this outfit make me look fat? Now, if you're gonna ask me that question, you are fat. Don't even bother asking me that question. Does this outfit make me look fat? Because you already know, you already answered your own question that your outfit already makes you look fat. Or if you gain a couple of pounds. If you had to ask me that kind of question, guess what? You are fat. No, stuff like that. You know, if you're doing something fucked up or doing something wrong, I'm going to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. If you're doing something right, I'm going to tell you you're right. That's how I roll. That's how I am. But a lot of women can't handle that. They don't want a nice guy. They don't want a good man. Let me say that. They don't want a good man because a good man will fucking expose you for what you are. A worthless ass cunt. And because many of you women are bitches and y'all got disrespectful attitudes and you have a disrespectful disposition and you got a nasty ass attitude and you're conceited and narcissistic and selfish and full of yourself and egotistical and obnoxious and just a worthless ass asshole. You are a blatant bitch. And because of that, that's why I don't respect most of you women. And most of you women you dress like whores and sluts and you want respect as a woman. Or you act so fucking masculine. You act like a fucking man. I was in the gym today. And this woman was a dyke. She acted manly. But if you treated her like a man, she wants to say, I'm a woman. These are the problems that you women, I mean, too many women send men all these mixed messages. You're not straightforward and you're not upfront and you're not honest. If women were honest, I read a post on Facebook. Hey, if you women were honest and upfront of who the fuck you are, instead of trying to pretend that you're something that you're not, and especially y'all fronting like you are a good woman, you act like and feel like you're a good woman. Just because you feel like you're something, just because you feel like you're a good woman, doesn't mean you necessarily are. Let me say that again. Just because you feel like you're a good woman doesn't mean you necessarily are a good woman. I mean, what do you have to show? What do you have to show and what proof do you have that makes you a good person? What makes you a good person? Why should I choose you? Why should I be with you? That's what you women should be asking yourselves when it comes down to men who you want to be with. I mean, I should say that. I mean, what makes you a good woman? What makes you a good person? What makes you strong? What makes you feel that you have integrity? What makes you intelligent? What you gotta have this mindset of what makes me a good woman, a valuable asset to be with a man. Why should I be with her? You should ask yourself this question. What makes you a good woman and why should a man choose you to be? Why should a man invest his time with you and spend money on you and take care of you if you claim to be a good woman? Why should a man pick you? Why should a man be with you, I should say? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So in closing, the reason why most men don't respect women is because women do not respect themselves. And the sad thing is, most of you in today's time, most of the men in my generation have been raised by single mothers. You are raising these men. I mean, these men should be the biggest. Excuse me. Like I'm saying, these men should be the biggest simps, the biggest manginas out there. I mean, mostly 80% of y'all women raise these boys to become men. My generation, the generation of men. The men in my generation has been raised by single mothers. So we should be the biggest loving, biggest worshiping We should be the most loving and worship women to death and put them on pedestals. You know what I'm saying? We have been raised by women, but women want to complain that we don't respect women, but we've been raised by women. Why is that? I mean, it's because the reason why most of the men don't respect women, even though they've been raised by women, because most men have been abused and disrespected by their own mama. They have been mistreated by their own mother and disrespected by mom. And because of that disrespect that they got from the home, guess what? And then not only that, you teach your daughters to hate fucking men and have a disrespectful disposition towards men and promote this misandry. And because of that, now this is why we have a gender war. That's why we're so divided. So in closing, a lot of you women need to look at yourselves. And a lot of you mothers who have sons, you need to ask yourself, why come my son don't respect women? Because I raised my son, but he don't respect women and the reason why your son don't respect women because your girlfriend, your sister, raised your daughters to fucking hate men. So men are treated like shit. Not only being treated by shit by other girls, but being treated by shit at home by their own mother. That's why you got these misogynists out there. Because they've been disrespected by women. They've been raised by women. All the teachers in school all the teachers are women. So all this misandry, all this hatred, and all this, like I said before, most of today's men from the 80s, most of the men who were born in the 80s and the 90s, even in the 2000s, have been raised by women, especially single mothers, and been raised by women within the family, by other women. I mean, boys growing up in my generation, they've been raised by women, from their mother to their aunts and women of their family, period. And then the boys go to school, and they're basically being raised by women because most of the teachers are women. So all this estrogen, in a nutshell, I mean, today's men should be the biggest woman worshippers out there, kissing your behind and putting you on pedestals. But that's not the case. You know, I mean, I don't know what to say, but most of you women who raise these boys, you know, to become men, I mean, you didn't teach them any chivalry or nothing like that? If you did, it was bullshit. And most of the boys, you know, who were growing up to become men realized that most of the chivalrous stuff that you women taught us was bullshit, because in a nutshell is that most of the men today, most of the boys who are becoming men or just men, period, are waking up to the fact that chivalry was, what you women did was teach boys to be responsible simps, responsible pussy-whipped slaves, and I mean, even when I was growing up, I noticed that this isn't fair. Why do I got to do all these things for a girl when I get no respect? I mean, women are the biggest women. The mothers are the first teacher of the child, and we got nothing but female leadership, female influence. I mean, most of the guys in my generation and the generation that's coming behind my generation, what is it? It says a lot. Like I said, we should be the biggest woman worshippers in the world, putting you on pedestals and kissing your ass. But that's not the case. I mean, and the disrespect comes from not all single mothers, are bad, but most of the single mothers raise these boys to become men, and most of the boys were abused and mistreated and disrespected by their mother. And then when they get in the school system, same thing. More male bashing, more misandry. So all this. So as the boy becomes a man and gets older, then when he's dealing with girls, he got to deal with disrespect. You got to deal with girls being rude, disrespectful, putting him down, being conceited, being narcissistic, and being condescending, and being flat out fucking mean to him because of the fact that the girls were raised to hate men for some whatever the fucking reason. I mean, how can you teach your daughter to fucking hate men when they came from it? When if it wasn't for a man's seed to impregnate, I say it like this: if it wasn't for a man's sperm and going into the woman's egg, she wouldn't be here. I mean, without a man, a woman cannot reproduce a child without a man's semen. Understand? So she. So most of you women, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a man fucking your mother. You wouldn't be here. A woman cannot procreate without a man. She cannot have a baby without a man. Um, you understand? To teach to you women out there to raise your daughters to hate men don't make no sense, because what if they have a son instead of a daughter? What you gonna do? You gonna hate your own son? That's what I'm trying to say. So because of the abuse that men go through, and then the male bashing, then the being to put down, and men being dumb and women being smart and women are better than this, and all this male bashing that boys are exposed to, especially when in the school system, and don't get me started on the media. I mean, all you see is nothing but male bashing. All you see nothing is misandry. And then the girls internalize, hey, the TV set told me that guys are dumb. The TV set told me that men are just easily manipulated and controlled by sex. And then when a girl gets a wake-up call and realizes that that's not the case, what do you do now? I mean, what do you do now? I mean, the problem is we got a perception of misandry, and thanks to male bashing and gynocentrism, a lot of young men are starting to realize that what they've been taught by their mothers and women in their family, and just women period, is fucking bullshit. Why should I be chivalrous to a girl, to a woman who has no respect for me? Why should I provide for her and take care of her when she has no fucking respect for me? Why should I marry her knowing that the court system and law enforcement and the government is on her side, and the system is against me as a man? So this is why you have movements like men going their own way, and you got the men's rights movement, but particularly men going their own way. This is why you got MGTOW. This is why you got True Force Loneliness, is because of the fact that many of these men's movements are out there is because men are sick and tired of being treated like a fifth-class citizen. Like I said, I mean, you women raise these boys to become men, and And it backfired on you because men have woken up to the fact that, hey, this society treats men unfairly. Men are just so disrespected. You understand what I'm saying? You understand why these things are the way they are. I hope you understand that. I just don't know what else to say. But like I said, men have been basically raised by women, and the father is, whatever reason why he's not there, I don't want to get into that part, but most of you women keep the father out most of you women keep the father out of their children's lives because whatever the fucking reason it is, it's just fucking petty. And once the kid finds out what you did, he resents you. The boy who becomes a man is going to resent his mother. And women, period, because based on how he's been treated and disrespected and put down by women and girls. So this is why men have no respect for women, because women have no respect for men. And not only that, women carry themselves like sluts, like whores, and some women behave like dykes. When they want to be a man, but they want to be treated like a woman, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So, how in the hell can you expect a man to be a gentleman, even if he's been taught to be a gentleman, but you didn't teach your daughter to be a lady? You taught her to be a fucking feminazi. You taught her to be a misandrous, sexist bigot. And that's why you got so many girls thinking that they're better than men, and they're so delusional. They can't do anything without men. If men don't build a society and don't maintain a society, what do you women have? What do you women have? You got to ask yourself that. If men decide not to build a society and not to cater to you and take care of you, are you women going to build a society? Most of you women going to build a society and maintain this society that has been built by men? You probably not, and don't have a fucking clue. And the problem is you women don't care. So in closing is that, like I said in the past, women, if you want a man to be a gentleman, you better be a fucking lady. If you want a man to respect you as a woman, you got to respect yourself. You got to respect men. Respect is a two-way street. You cannot demand respect if you're not willing to give it. It just doesn't work that way. And most men don't want to fucking be with most of you women because of the fact that y'all just a man-hating feminists who think you're so superior to men. And what's ironic is that these what I call these mangianas, these men who are the elites, they fooled you. They told you that you were so fucking great. They woman stroked you and inflated your ego and told you, thanks to their media, thanks to the male bashing, thanks to the school system, thanks to those influences, that they told you that you're fucking better than a man. They lied to you. That's what they did. So I don't want to keep on going. I don't want to keep on rambling, but I'm just gonna say it like this, like I said in my last videos that I've done in the past. Women, if you want respect, you gotta respect the man. If you want to be treated like a lady, you gotta be a lady. You gotta treat this man like a gentleman, and you gotta be a lady, and you gotta treat this man like a gentleman. You gotta treat men the way you want to be treated. Respect is earned, it's not given. That's what a lot of you women don't understand. That's because the problem is, you women have been, thanks to mangianas, thanks to Simpson, these pussy whip males who put you on pedestals and kiss your ass. They tell you what you want to hear, and that's the reason why they tell you what you want to hear, is so they can get what they want and fucking leave you in the dust. So bottom line is, women, You got to treat men the way you want to be treated. If you want a gentleman, you got to be a lady. If you want men to respect you as a woman, you got to respect men. And like I said before, women, you got to respect yourself and carry yourself like a lady. And you got to treat men with respect in order for a man to respect you. Does that make any fucking sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, and if you choose not to listen to me, guess what? There's nothing else I can tell you. We have nothing to discuss. So, if you respect me as a man, I will respect you as a woman. And that's just there's nothing getting around it. So, respect yourself as a woman and respect men, and men will finally respect you, especially if you're not on that feminist bullshit. If you respect me as a man, I will respect you as a woman. If you don't like that, then you can't complain. And that's all I gotta say. That's what you gotta do. Respect is a two-way street. So treat men the way you want to be treated. Trust me, if you treat a man with respect, 9 times out of 10 he will treat you with respect. And that's all we're asking. That is simple. Men are simple. Alright? That's all I gotta say. I'm out. Peace.